I'm going to talk about why become a coach today. I'm also going to share. Now, I mean, this is a little bit different perspective because normally when I see one of my team members talk about this, or I share this like on a webinar or something like that, I'll give you the list that I know is probably attractive to most people. But today I wanted to get more personal about it. I'm going to talk about what I personally love about coaching and the coaching business. The reason I wanted to share this is because the last couple live streams that I've done have been, you could probably say they're a bit negative. I talked about like coaches that I hate and what I hate about the coaching business and all this, so I've had plenty of time for the prosecution, and probably some negativity even came out of that. I think it's great to be honest and great to be clear about the upsides and the downsides for everything, the pleasure and the pain. Those are both parts of life. So I think it's okay to share it. And at the same time, there's reasons why I've been in this industry and in this business full time, pretty much 100% for what's about to be 18 years now. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about what I love about the coaching business, like really what it is for me that keeps me coming back for more, and why I've stuck around for so long. The other reason I want to talk about this around this time of year is because around this time, people start thinking about career, and they start thinking about their life purpose, and they start thinking about how far they've come and what's left for them to change, and really what their dreams are, and if they've connected with those dreams yet. And so I think it's really good timing also to talk about this. So I'm going to give you 9 things that I personally love about coaching, and that I personally love about the coaching business as well. Those are 2 different things. I mean, you can coach people and not have a business, or you can coach people like in another role, like as a manager, or in your family, or coach your kids, or coach your baseball team. I mean, there's so many different ways you can coach without it being a business, right? And these are still things that I think there are to love about just coaching people, whether or not you're getting paid for it, whether or not it's part of your part of like a business that you've set up. And also, there's some other things in here in this list that I really love about the business of coaching. I mean, it's great to coach, but also the coaching business is a fantastic business, or else I wouldn't have stayed in it this long. So I'm going to share the things that I personally love about coaching and the coaching business, and really why I think I wanted to become a life coach, and why I think that I stayed a coach for people's lives and people's businesses and people's careers, and for coaches for that matter, and training coaches at this point now after just about 18 years. So, I mean, I got started in year 2000 working for Tony Robbins, working with a lot of his clients, and that was an amazing experience, no doubt. I got a lot of great training. And after I left actually very shortly after, about a year and a half working with that organization, at least full time. I still part time act as part of the leadership team when they run seminars and different events. Bottom line, it's a long time ago, and so there's a reason why I stuck around, and I'm going to share with you what those reasons are. So let's get to it. So the first thing that I love about the coaching business is that I get income. It's nice to get paid. I get income for doing what I love. A couple years ago, I had my daughter. It feels like a couple years ago. It was really more like, I guess she's 7 now. I mean, 7 years ago. I can't believe that. So have a child and your life will just pass before your eyes instantly. But one of the things that happened was I stopped being a bachelor, and I turned into someone who's supporting a family. And my lifestyle as a bachelor was great. I took a month or 2 off every year. I traveled wherever I wanted to go. I pretty much could write my own ticket to whatever I really cared about. So so it was fantastic. But once the kid came along, and I realized I had to responsibility above and beyond just me enjoying my life, I suddenly had this other level of pressure financially. And so very quickly I said, well, wow, I got to like triple my income if I want to maintain my lifestyle, because I got two other dependents. And so that's me times three. So let's do a triple. And, I mean, I was building up my training business for several years. Thanks for letting me know, Court. Unfortunately, I don't know if I can control my audio on the fly with this. I might need to go. Might need to get off the Facebook. All right, Facebook. I'm going to come back to you in just a second. If you're on YouTube watching, just hold tight. The drug experience will end in a moment. Facebook just gave me some audio feedback that was less than promising. All right, there we go. And so we should have better audio this time around. All right, thanks for your patience. We're coming back in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Facebook, sorry about that. Turns out, sounds like my audio was really, really bad. I am testing out some new tech today, so bear with me there. And we're gonna record this for posterity. There we go. All right, if you're just coming on Facebook, welcome. We're gonna get started in about 3 seconds. 2, 1. Are we recording? Okay, we're recording again. All right, great. So just to backpedal just for a second, thanks for coming on again. This is what I love about coaching and the coaching business, why become a coach in the first place. And this was the first thing I was trying to share before, which is income for doing what I love. Like I said, I started this a long time ago, but 7 years ago I had a child. I suddenly got a family, and I had to triple my income. And so I was building up the training organization, training coaches, and I hadn't been doing a lot of coaching lately, although I was doing a little bit. So I said, well, gosh, how do I triple my income like within a year? And it was actually, well, I don't want to say it was easy, because I mean anything when you're building income takes some level of work, but I succeeded in tripling my income. And how did I do that? All I did, okay, thanks for letting me know, Court. Yeah, from the looks of things, that very well just might be internet. So sorry to hear that. Anyway, we'll continue. Hopefully the recording will be better. So I was needing to increase my income, and so all I did was I went out and I got coaching clients. And yes, I work an extra day each week as a result of doing that. Instead of working 2 days a week, I work 3 days a week. Or I'm sorry, instead of working 1 day a week, I work 2 days a week. But the income is triple what it was. So, and the really cool thing is that it's actually a pleasure to do it. It's actually something that I really do enjoy doing. And it's added something to my life. It hasn't taken away. I think a lot of times in a lot of professions, somebody says, I need to go make more money, and they do more work. They build their business bigger. It's like they gave something up. They gave part of their life up. They gave part of their soul up. They gave part of, they gave a lot of, they gave up a lot in order to, yeah, sorry about that, Mike. We seem to be having some audio difficulties on Facebook today. So unfortunately, I have no answer to how to fix it. So I appreciate the feedback, though. Anyway, so I just enjoy that much more of what I get to contribute in life as a result of that. So that's the first thing I really love about coaching in the coaching business. Second is that it's something that to me is very interesting. I enjoy. It's very interesting to learn about my clients, the creativity that it takes, and that that's demanded of me in order to uh, make a difference for them. The exploration that I get to experience with someone else in someone else's life, to live vicariously through what what they're going through and what they're up to in their life. And to me, I kind of think of it like a detective process. Um, I get to explore the intricacies and the hidden pathways of someone's mind and of their life. And yeah, it's a really interesting journey, and it's something where I actually get to be very creative about problem solving in a way, inside and outside of coaching sessions. So that's the second thing that I love about coaching in the coaching business. Third thing that I love about coaching in the coaching business is, especially coaching, is the power of words, conversation, and relationship. There's something that's very, very powerful just about the words that we use when we are talking to somebody. Words have emotion, they have meaning, they have power, and what you say can really make a gigantic difference in terms of how someone is impacted by you and by the relationship that they have with you. Um, that conversation, the words that go back and forth between you and a client, it's a completely different. Uh, it can truly transform what uh, what happens for somebody and the results that they experience. And then finally, the power of a relationship. There's something very, very powerful about a deep enough relationship with someone, such that there's certain people in our lives that what they say and how they feel about us and what they do, that has a huge impact on us. It can influence our decisions. It can influence who we become because of what we see in them, or what they see in us that we find that they reflect back to us, right? And so I think that's just tremendously powerful. And I get to experience that as a coach and as a client, of course. But in the coaching world, I get to see the power of what I say, and I get to see the power of the relationship that I build with the clients that I talk to and that I work with. Um, one of the things I noticed over the last couple weeks has been that when I have a relationship that's close enough and there's enough trust with, I find that I can go deep enough with a client such that, or I might be provocative, I might be challenging, I might be really rough with a client, but I find that actually can be very effective, not just because of that, because normally when somebody's that way with us, we're just like, forget it, I don't even want to relate to you. But when you have enough rapport with somebody, you have enough of a relationship with them, when they know that you really care, you're not just there to get something or take something from them, but you're there to give, truly give. Um, sometimes sometimes taking the bull by the horns and putting some real, even negative energy into your voice, into what you say, into that coaching call, can be exactly what a client needs. And also it can be long-term influential, that you're willing to go there with a client, but also that you still care as well. And if you can find that balance, the words that you use, the conversation, the relationship goes to another level because it's more dynamic. A relationship where all that happens is it's like everybody loves each other and it's all lovely and wonderful and easy. That's a relationship that probably doesn't have much influence and probably doesn't have much depth of impact. It probably doesn't have much longevity to it. There's just, it's not a relationship that's fully alive. And so because there's a part of that relationship that's dead. There's all sorts of different energies that we have. There's positive and negative energies, and when we don't bring all of them into ourselves and into a relationship, it's incomplete. It's just not all there. So there's power to that. as well. There was a client that I was working with just literally days ago, and I just really tore into her, and I even acknowledged it during the session. I was like, I'm being really rough with you today, and but at the same time, it was what was needed in the session. I didn't do it just to do it, and by the end of that session, we were laughing about the situation. We were taking action on it. We were making plans and new commitments. There was another level of energy and motivation there that wasn't there before that session happened for the client, really for me as well. And to know that you have the freedom and you have enough of a relationship to be able to do that with somebody. I mean, it's hard to do that with a family member or a friend. It's hard to do that with a stranger. But with a client, it's like you have that freedom to do it within certain constraints of the relationship. So there's something there that happens, I think, that's very rare for anybody's life, for that matter. Sometimes it's just one word that can set a relationship free. Years ago, I was coaching a client that was referred by a friend of mine, and she said, I can't leave this relationship. I can't leave my husband. He'd be miserable without me. And that was a really hot button word for her. I could see how it motivated her. And I said, well, the fact that he knows that you don't love him and that he lives with that, the feeling of failure and the feeling of loneliness every day with you reminding him of that because he loves you so much, he's already miserable, so you might as well put him out of his misery. I used that word because I knew that had tremendous power with her. And it opened her up and it freed her up to go ahead and make that separation. And I think they're still together till this day. But she needed to feel like she was free to go so she could fully commit, because she wasn't committed. She was just attached to that relationship at the time. So there's real power in the words that you use in these coaching relationships. And that's one of the things I really love about coaching and the coaching business. Fourth, just seeing the growth and the breakthroughs and the miracles that happen for my clients, that's super invigorating and motivating and inspiring. One of our students, years ago, Hal Elrod, he wrote a book called The Miracle Morning, and his life is like a miracle. I mean, he went through a car accident where he almost died, or he actually did die, and he recovered from it. He was recovering from leukemia over the last year or so, and so it's just like his life is these stories of overcoming things that most of the time would have destroyed somebody or killed them, or really caused them to just decide to give up their life, give up their hope. And he rises above that every day. And I was speaking at one of his events a couple years ago. He invited me to speak at this event where he had a couple hundred of his clients there. And I talked about these miracles because he has this book called The Miracle Morning. And I said, miracle is the unforeseen and the unexpected. It's the unimaginable. It's not something that's just magic. What we define as magic or magical is something that we wouldn't expect to happen. So when there's something that's unexpected or improbable, that's a miracle. And I see that happen all the time with clients. So seeing the breakthroughs that they have and how effective certain coaching can be is just really inspiring and exciting to see. And I love to revisit that with my clients. When I'll work with a client and they'll say, wow, I performed so much better at my job or at my presentations or my coaching or something, just because of that conversation I had with you. It's like, wow, and I get paid for this. It's like, that's fantastic. That's awesome. I mean, it's a dream come true, right? So, I hear that on a pretty regular basis, and it's just really cool to feel that that is actually something I can provide people. When people find their courage, years ago, it's like a decade ago, there's a client I worked with, and he needed to get up the courage to go ahead and take a business risk that his wife was not comfortable with. And so he got to the point where he said, okay, fine, I'm going to go ahead and commit to this. I'm going to do whatever it takes to stick with my commitment, no matter what my wife feels. This is my business. I have to make this decision for the for everyone's benefit. And he said, he got back on a session with me. And by the way, guys, if you're having trouble hearing me on Facebook, which I know we have audio difficulties right now, I'm going to go ahead and give you my YouTube channel, and you can go ahead and go over there. I'm betting you the audio is okay. So I just popped it into the chat. And if you'll go over there, you'll be able to find me live, I'm hoping. Anyway, and you can see this on a replay at some point as well. Facebook is not exactly the friendliest tech environment, depending on what you're doing. So anyway, coming back to this client of mine, he came back to me on a later session, and he said, my wife, she walked out, she slammed the door, she left the house, and she did everything she could to try to rattle my cage and make me feel like I couldn't do this and kind of make me go back to where I was. Not because she was, angry or upset, or not because she was giving up on me and not committed to me, and not because she didn't love me, but because she was scared. And he said, I got through it because that conversation with you gave me the courage to do what I needed to do. And so thank you for that. So just, seeing those kind of things happen, it's something that will bring you back, and the juice of that will get you. Next is sometimes, it's just nice to feel like what you do matters, like your coaching and what you provide is important enough, it's needed enough, it's powerful enough that it's necessary. It's a big deal. It's not some little stupid conversation that you had with somebody that didn't make any difference. Like, what you say and what you do as a coach makes a difference. And so, it's kind of an ego thing. If in a way, it's like, hey, I'm the coach, and it's so great, and it's helping people, and it's like I have the power to do this, But that's part of every one of us is a need to feel special, powerful, significant, important, different, like we stand out, like we have something special to deliver. And it totally feels that way when you when you have the power to make a difference in your coaching. All right, awesome. I'm glad that you made it over to YouTube. It's funny how these things work. So okay, so anyway, next, actually, wait a second. Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I lost my place. Okay, are we on number 6? We're on number 6. Sixth thing that I love about coaching in the coaching business is the connection that I get to have with my clients. You shouldn't need your clients as the only source of connecting with people. Hopefully your family and your friends and people that love you, and you have that life that's outside of your business. But it's lovely to have this too, to be able to connect with other people in a professional environment in such a way where you really feel like you're a part of their life. You feel like you're a part of their team. You feel like you're a part of their results. You're a part of something bigger than you. Like when I have a chance to contribute in a coaching relationship, and I know it made a difference, and it's an area that it's like it's not going to matter to me, right? It just really matters to them. I know that I'm contributing and connected to something that's bigger than myself. And that to me is, it's a really lovely feeling. It's an awesome feeling, and something that everyone deserves to have. It's one of the things that keeps me coming back to continue to coach. Next, the effortlessness of the marketing and sales. Now, this is a funny one, because when I talked about what I hate about a coaching business, I actually talked about how hard it is to market and sell coaching and coaching services. But it's actually fairly effortless if you know what you're doing. And it gets easier as you make progress. So you start in your coaching business over selling one-to-one, offering, I know you can't see this on Instagram, but just one person to one person. And that can be challenging because, you may not be attractive to each individual that you talk to, so that you get some rejection in that process. But if you're doing it as a coach and you're really just helping and coaching, and that's what you love to do, then it actually is effortless to do that. Maybe the rejection's not, but the coaching process is. And that's the primary role of one-to-one selling of coaching. Now you get to the point eventually where you start doing one-to-many. You start talking to people on social. You start making public workshops and speaking engagements and presentations. You give webinars, teleseminars. I mean, there's all sorts of different ways that you give one-to-many presentations, and that's much more effortless because then the people who really want to work with you kind of self-select and they come and approach you, right? You don't have to chase after somebody anymore. So that's doubling the effortlessness right there. And plus, you still get to coach. You still get to be a great leader or guru or whatever you call yourself, a teacher, if you will. And it just gets easier and easier. You just do more of what you love. And then eventually it gets to the point where if you're marketing direct response marketing or using the internet or something like that, it's really one to infinity. It's one, essentially the marketplace that you talk to is infinite. There's an infinite number of people that you can reach, and it's effortless to do that. Like I could reach 20,000 people just with this one conversation that we're recording right now, and it doesn't take any more effort for me to do that than it would take for me just to talk to myself, which I do sometimes, and it would be good to record that stuff. But for this purpose, it's basically effortless. So the effortlessness of the marketing is a huge part of what I love about the coaching business. Eighth thing that I love about the coaching and about coaching and the coaching business is having my ideas read, having them listened to, having them celebrated, having them valued. Okay, this is kind of an ego thing too, when people value something you built, but this is a little different in that, it's like I can make a video here and I built something based upon my ideas that I came up with today, and later on, other people will value it. They'll consume it. They'll read it. They'll listen to it. It'll turn into a book. It'll turn into an audio, a podcast. It's like, it's pretty cool, to see that. So yes, part of that's a pride thing, but part of that is also seeing, hey, I built something. I built these bricks, and now somebody lives in that house. Somebody is regular, like I have a program called Quick Start Coaching Codes, the shirt, and twice a year we have boot camps that people go through where they'll get their coaching business started. But in addition to that, between those boot camps, people are signing up for that program and they're experiencing, watching the videos we made, they're reading the workbooks, they're doing the assignments, they're getting clients, they're reading, listening to, celebrating, and valuing, and getting results from something I built years ago that still makes a difference. I love the experience of like knowing that it's still out there working for me, which actually segues naturally to the ninth thing that I love about coaching in the coaching business, which is the automatic and or passive growth and income. You get to the point where your coaching business is not based upon all the work that you have to do each day, although you can still do that, which I do as well. But it's based upon your knowledge, and your knowledge can turn into money. And guess what? That knowledge can be, just like we talked about, built into programs, and those programs can go be out there marketing themselves, and people buying them, and people paying for them, and people taking them and going through those courses and making you money the entire time. So the fact that turns into, your knowledge turns into cash, your knowledge is not necessarily an active thing. Like you can actively give it, but then once it's recorded, once it's turned into something passive, it just keeps throwing off cash for you. So I love that. I love the passive aspect of that. It creates time flexibility for me. I didn't have to work today. I chose to come here and do this. This is not necessary for me to generate income. I don't give a damn about somebody paying me for in exchange for this video or this talk, this conversation. I just enjoy doing it. But I could also hang out with my family or go watch a movie or go windsurfing or something else that I love to do as well. I could do that the rest of the week if I wanted to. I would enjoy growing my business more, and I love doing it, so why not? So this is the information business. The coaching business is also the information business. And so information can become a passive income or a passive growth. Like this year, we started out with like 38,000 students. And now that we're almost done with the year, we're at 42,000 students. Like we got like 4,000 students throughout the year. Like I didn't have to work to build that. I mean, I did some work to coach and teach and do things for the students, and then I've got my own clients that I work with as well. But a lot of that growth was really just happened passively, which is really exciting. Of course, you have to put work in order to build something in the first place, but once you've built it, it can passively grow. Uh, and then the results that you get, this is an interesting thing. There's this kind of results credibility cycle where the results that you get with your clients and students turns in more credibility because they go out and they give testimonials and their case studies, and they are shining examples of the great results that you can get with clients, and that builds more credibility, which brings more clients to you and more confidence to your new clients that sign up with you, which means that leads to more results. So the more results creates more testimonials and case studies that leads to more credibility, which leads to more results. And this is a virtuous cycle that happens over and over and over again. So what do you love about coaching in the coaching business? And if you have not yet started your business or you're thinking about it, what do you think you might love about it? What do you think might be something that, whether it's in my list or it's outside of my list, something that you think would be just fantastic, that if you turned over a new leaf this new year and decided to go for it and build this business, what do you think is going to be the greatest part of it? What do you think you're going to love the most? Leave me a comment. And I know we had audio problems on Facebook today, so we'll see if we can work those out. This is I'm learning I added a new microphone. Here's the new mic. You can see it. And so from the looks of things, we had issues about that. Maybe it's possible. Not sure. But bottom line is we'll work that out. And if this audio didn't come through okay, I will go ahead and get your replay, hopefully from a source where we had better audio than what you heard. So, but leave me a comment and let me know what you love about coaching in the coaching business. And also, you can also share this. I know if the audio is bad on Facebook, you probably shouldn't. Share it later when I pump out a better audio on the video. But share it by hitting the indicated button, especially if you're on YouTube. I think you can do that. The world needs more coaches, so we need to get the word out about if the coaches don't enjoy what they're doing, if they don't love what they do, they're not going to stay coaches, they're not going to become coaches. So this is a really important message, I think, to get out. And thanks for watching. Like this if you thought it was cool, and if you want to subscribe to see more of these with better audio, probably check out the YouTube channel. I already put it in the chat, so you can go there and subscribe and probably watch a better version of this video. And I also have something else for you today that and by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll put this in the chat later. But I want to also supply you. I got a complaint the other day that I wasn't giving enough concrete kind of step-by-step things you can do to get your coaching business going. So I'm doing a webinar later this week called How to Start Your Coaching Business in 30 Days. And if you go to the link I just popped into Facebook, I'll put it into YouTube later, so you'll see it in the comments or in the description somewhere. Just go to that link, and that will take you to that webinar that we're doing a little bit later. And here's what is going to be a part of that webinar. You're actually going to get a step-by-step kind of manual to tell you like I think it's like 4 or 5 steps that you need to do. And you can literally do this like before the webinar happens and get clients before you even showed up to the webinar. And if you do that, I actually have a deal where I'll pay you cash for that accomplishment, because I want to reward that. That's really awesome. But anyway, bottom line is we'll give you a little workbook that'll give you step-by-step instructions for exactly what to do to get your first client if you haven't gotten a client yet. And if you do that, I can promise you, if you do it enough, like 10, 20 hours of work, maybe even less, there's a good chance you will actually get your first coaching client whether it's before, during, or after that webinar. And then the webinar will actually take you through those steps as well in more detail. So check that out. Again, I just put in the chat how to start your coaching business in 30 days. I'm doing that later this week. And sorry about the audio problems today. I'll be posting a video, hopefully with better audio, a little bit later once I work out the tech issues, and I will talk to you later. By the way, if you are staying around on Facebook, join the Facebook group, because this is where I'm going to be posting our lives from now on. I just popped that into the chat as well. And then if you want to check out our site, just go to coachestrainingblog.com, which I also popped in the chat just now as well. So take care, and I'll talk to you next time.